AEW Full Gear 2021 is in the books. Welcome to a special double feed edition of the KLB because right now we're going to be producing this both as video and as podcast. You are listening to this either on World of Geekdom, and we're taping it right after the end of Full Gear. It just ended literally like 20 minutes ago. The show ended, and we're going to be doing a special review recap of the show, go over the matches and what we thought about them, and where we go from here. But also, this is part of the K-Fabulous Lucha Brothers Wrestling Show. Now, if you're out there on World of Geekdom and you're wondering, what is the KLB? Well, the KLB is pageantry. It's Broadway. It's unbelievable athleticism. It's the podcast that I had before there was a Geekdom 101. Since 2014, Brandon Dreyer and I have been entertaining thousands of people throughout the East and the West Coast, from the East side and the West side of the Rockies. And we've done a few of these before. In fact, I think we did Full Gear last year like this. But if you want to subscribe to the KLB, I will leave a link in the description for you to click on the iTunes link so you can subscribe to our show. We have done 207 episodes of this show, folks, where we go back and we review classic pay-per-views of WCW, ECW, WWE. We talk about TNA. We talk about AEW. We talk about current news. And we also talk about the history of the business. So, and we do it in a very, I guess, playful way. If you're looking for a serious analytical show, you'll get some of that. We do preach isms on this show, but we also try to have fun. So the link is in the description, but if you're listening to us in the KLB feed, what's up, Francisco Lopez and Mark Alasair and all those, Mexican jabronis and everybody from Wakanda. What's up, yo? Brandon Draven's with me, yo. So the show is done, and guess what? Unlike what we were wondering if they were going to do this, bro, but they did not Lex Luger Hangman Page.
We didn't have to listen to a video package right after the show with Adam Page on a bus hating life.
I'll be your hero.
Which is not on the network, by the way, unfortunately, because Jim Johnston took that with him and everything else. That was cool.
But that's okay because we got our copy. So we were discussing this on this show as well as I did a video on it on World of Geekdom. Having Hangman Page not win the title here would have been a very big mistake. This was a 3-year storyline that was built up since the beginning of AEW. Almost 3 years, 2.5 years. Hangman Page was the guy who they decided was going to be the big babyface. And they had this long, and winding road where he went against Jericho at All Out 2019 and failed. Then he kind of had this depression storyline. He kind of left the Elite. Then the Elite went heel, and then Kenny eventually teamed with him. Then he went heel, but Hangman chose not to go down the dark path. And we actually have a development in the storyline tonight because of what happened with the Young Bucks. So do you want to talk about that now or save it for later in the show?
Well, I wanted to say, first of all, going back to what you were saying earlier, one of the best compliments that we've gotten about me and you doing this show for going on 7 years now is the fact that people feel, I've gotten this, I don't know if you've gotten this feedback before, but people always tend to feel like they're in the room with us, right? People tend to, because we have such a smooth way of conversating. This is a conversation. We don't rehearse anything, and I've gotten that from people, and a lot of them have really touched my heart because there's people that have told us that we've gotten them through some depression stages in their lives. Sometimes They lost someone and they say, you know what? I feel like it reminds me of me and my brother hanging out, talking wrestling, and that's you guys.
Oh, and so, by the way, we called ourselves the Lucha Brothers before Penta and Ray. Way before. They jacked our name. We might have to call Jerry S. McDevitt, bro, to help us out with this one.
No, bro. He's on the red phone. He's only for extreme.
Yeah, but also you got to remember that Penta and Phoenix are Mexican, so they probably won't have that much money.
Remember, Vince McMahon has a phone in his office in a glass casing.
Yes.
With the little gimmick hammer next to it, bro.
Yeah. And a little key. Oh, break for emergencies, bro.
And then that line that you can't dial anymore.
Jerry, they found out about the sauna in Florida.
Brother, that phone doesn't go anywhere. It just goes right to Jerry S. McDevitt's personal line. Now,
did you know that Tony Khan has a blue phone in his office that goes right to Paul Levesque? Did you know that?
Oh, bro, it goes right to Shad Khan, bro. His daddy, bro, to get
That's
him out of trouble.
to get it. Yeah, remember what Randy Orton said? If I want to do business, I'll talk to your daddy, not you.
No, his daddy said the most alpha line ever, brother. I'm gonna leave
Yeah.
him a bunch of money. Might as well start wasting it now.
Might as
That
well
was the
start
best
wasting
line
it
ever.
now. Yes, he buried AEW, bro, while putting himself over. The company that he founded
You know what?
and
We
funded.
we respect a lot of alpha men in this world, but Shad Khan is one we really respect because this man,
Self-made billionaire.
he found a bumper, folks, a bumper on a car, one bumper that he trademarked.
Who's more of a bumper, that or Darby Allin, bro?
He found a bumper that he trademarked, and he made $1 billion+ doing that, brother. That is the American dream, right there. And it ain't Dusty Rhodes or his son Cody. And we're gonna talk about that
We're
later.
gonna talk about Cody later, bro. Yeah.
But I do want to remind people that yes, we are better than your grandma's apple pie, and we are a slice of Americana.
I think
So
you
thank
screwed
guys
that.
for
You
joining
screwed
us.
that whole lineup, bro. But all right,
Well, another thing that I wanted to say is that
a
we've done
slice
200
of America.
we've done 207 shows, and I would say I do remember once, bro. I don't know why, but I do remember I did one show sober, 100% stone cold sober, and I was very proud of myself because we got through it. But that's where it started and that's where it ended because I started drinking about 30 minutes ago when the match was the main event was still going on, and I had me some Modelo Black, which is very strong beer, very Mexican beer.
Wait, Modelo Black, isn't that the guy that teamed up with Andrade tonight?
Come on, bro. And so I'm feeling good already. So let's hit the road running.
That should be the name of that tag team, Modelo Black.
That's a good name, bro.
Do you want to go match by match, bro? We normally don't do this, but whatever.
Well, yeah, let's do it that way. Because I know you wanted to talk a little bit about the Hangman storyline and the Young Bucks. We'll get to it when we get to that match.
Yeah.
But
Go ahead.
well, there's a couple things I wanted to bring up, bro. Before
Go for it.
So,
Yeah.
WrestleMania went on sale. Now, I will be there. I will be there for sure because I have a gimmick that I'm going to do next year as I lead towards my retirement in LA, WrestleMania Hollywood coming in 2023, which is a lot of people are saying is one of my many Terry Funk retirements, but I'm not going to allow that to get to me.
I'm one of the ones saying that, but okay.
One of the things, you and many, bro, trust me. One of the things that I wanted to bring up to you, and the reason why I wanted to bring this up here, is because we went to the first two-night WrestleMania event, me and you together. That was packed. Obviously, the year before they also had a two-night event, but there was no fans. So, how do you feel now that you've experienced both a live event with a one-night event or a two-night event? How do you feel? But do you think it's better, or do you think you want to keep that one-night thing going on?
No, I think it's better to do the 2 nights at 3.5 hours or 4 hours each because it's better than having one big 8-hour show. Not to mention that with NXT TakeOver pretty much being dead, because the highlight of the weekend used to be the Hall of Fame and then TakeOver and then WrestleMania. With NXT being pretty much RIP. And we almost said R.I.P. to its creator. Thank God he's okay. But with that ending, it's almost like this is like that now. You're getting 2 nights. The only thing that sucks is getting into the stadium can take time, and the parking and stuff like that. Dealing with that 2 days in a row sucks. But I prefer the 2 nights. Now, what I am tripping out about is that the New Japan Wrestle Kingdom shows 3 nights now. I think that's pushing it, bro. I don't like that.
Well, you were there for the 2 nights.
I was.
And if you don't believe us, just listen to you talk about it every time you bring it up.
Yeah.
I
went to Tokyo, and I wore a Ribera Steakhouse jacket. I got one that night.
Yeah, you also took the shit in a little hole.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did, bro. I had to experience that.
So no, I agree with you. The only thing is that what about the years where one card's gonna be in balance? Like, you're gonna have the better.
You mean like this upcoming year?
Well, this year they have Roman and Brock. That's the headliner for night 1. So I'm thinking they're gonna.
No, that's the headliner for night 2, bro.
Yes, of course. Roman ain't gonna go out there. Did you know that Roman already made it a thing to where he says he's never gonna wrestle in anything other than the main event?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Okay, he's already went out and said it, so it's official. Like, he says he's not gonna be in the main event. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he said either the first or the last match. I think he doesn't want to ever be in the middle, but I think either that
makes sense,
or he wants to just be in the main event. So you're right, it could be night 2.
Night 1's gonna be headlined by women, bro.
That's what I'm saying. I think they're gonna do the gimmick. They're gonna try to get the women over, and I don't know. I mean, I know maybe Becky will be involved in something, but I don't know who they pull out of their ass.
Ronda will come back, bro.
But she just had a kid.
Yeah, exactly. She'll come back after she had the kid now.
So you're saying that we could build to the big triple threat rematch?
Hopefully not.
So here's another thing that I just thought about right now. What do you think of the big controversy with Charlotte and Becky shooting in the ring? Because as you know, WWE is so overproduced. That hasn't happened in years.
You talking about when they had that screaming match in the back or whatever, they kicked Charlotte out? I thought that was kind of childish, honestly.
But it's also kind of a big deal because that used to be for the post 87s that don't know. That used back in the day. See, because a lot of people think, oh, wrestling has always been professional. Wrestling, no.
That it's very carny business.
Wrestling, especially when you're at the top level, it's about keeping your spot because
it's very ego. It's very ego driven.
Right, and there's a big high school mentality that me and you have done entire shows on with the ribbing and the payback that they have. But that's besides the point. The point of this being that years ago, before Vinny kind of monopolized the business, that you had to have shooters because a lot of guys wouldn't want to do business. They'll either double cross you in the ring or
yeah. Starting in the 1930s, what would happen is you had to have legitimate tough guys as your champions because you would have a guy try to legitimately break the champion's leg and steal the title. There was it was very dirty, very mob like. You know, this is like way back in the day. This is before television when this kind of stuff started.
Yes, and also as the years evolved with the business, wrestlers found a way to get themselves over at the expense of their opponent, and this is what we saw here. For example, one of the more classic examples is WrestleMania 6 with the way that Hogan sabotaged the Warrior. Even the Warrior won. If you want to take a primer class in how to do that, watch that match, watch the post-match, and you'll see that at the end of the night, it was Hogan that got himself more over in losing to the Warrior. And then another example of that would be what Hogan did to Dwayne as well, many years ago. Out of that, and that actually got him another run with the title. So Hogan was always very clever with these maneuverings. And what Charlotte did was that she went off script and she threw the belt to Becky on live television so that Becky, like a dog, could come and pick it up. And that was not what was supposed to happen. And Becky, because Becky's a longtime fan, she's a student of the business, she understood what Charlotte was trying to do. And when they went to the back, it wasn't just a shouting match. There was a pull apart, and security had to escort Charlotte out. And it ended up being a big deal because we hadn't seen that kind of behavior in a long time because WWE is so overly produced. And Vince has cut off everybody's balls.
The last time we saw something like that was like when Lesnar got into it with Jericho after the Cena match. I think that might have been the last time, right?
Also, when Lesnar wanted to beat up Vinny in the back.
When he threw the belt at him?
Yeah, so Lesnar, because Lesnar's a businessman, he's from that era. He's old school like that.
Right.
Oh, and then, of course, we've had things like Daniel Bryan screaming at Hunter, but that was different. So
yeah. It's just it happens, and WWE hates when these stories get out because they want to be all squeaky clean. But it happens, It happens in every company where you have egos, bro.
But it's kind of a paradoxical thing because in order to be successful, you have to believe in yourself. You have to understand that you're the best, and that goes for any line of work.
Yeah.
And if you can't do that,
like I'm the best YouTuber.
Sure, and if you told me I completely believe that. And you have to kind of believe that because if not, you're always going to be subservient to the next person trying to take your spot.
But nowadays in the pussy generation, if I say that, I have a big ego and geekdom has an ego and this and that because they take pride in my work. I have an ego, and that's why those people who say that never get respect from people like me.
That's right. And the thing about human behavior is that we're in an ecosystem, and one thing affects another. You cannot, and that's the reality of it, And so you have to be able to be aggressive sometimes. But the point of this being that traditionally you do have to stand up for yourself like that. And I know where Charlotte was trying to do and what Becky did in return. And both of them are kind of right in a way.
Yeah, it's just disagreement.
My point of this, to bring it back to AEW, is that me and you talked about this way back when this first started with the EVPs and how you're dealing with a lot of clash of personalities.
Yes,
and
we talked about that when the company first got founded.
Right, and it happened right away to where Tony had to make a decision, and Tony Khan kicked all the other EVPs out of
Yeah, he
writers.
basically took control of the company, whereas they had a lot more control beforehand. Yeah.
Right. So he kind of gave, and this is very Carney and Tony's part, but again, very smart as a leader. You have to, if you're a leader, bro, you have to lead. And sometimes to lead, you got to give people the illusion of control. So I'm giving a lot of people some free advice that I charge for, by the way, here. So thank me for that later. So what he did, which is very smart, is that he gave all the EVPs individual jobs. Like, for example, Cody Rhodes is now like the leader of like, or the one in charge of like community service, right? He's connected to the community. Kenny Omega is now in charge of the video game, et cetera, et cetera. So he gave everybody individual jobs so that he could focus on creative. So that not everybody's going to be on, clashing with creative storylines. Which if you notice, the first year from October when 2019 when Dynamite debuted up to like December, that product was bad. Like they had no direction. Me and you talked about it. The Young Bucks were putting everybody over before they established themselves. Kenny Omega had no heat. He was a babyface. He had lost to Pac in like at a pay-per-view.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah, I mean, it was a fun product to watch because it was different from WWE because the promos were better and they had different talent, but they definitely felt directionless for a while.
But to Tony's credit, he saw that, and he's talked about this recently. He's like, I knew that when we started Dynamite, we were not going in a narrow road. We were going all over the place, and I had to take back the reins. And since he did that through the whole pandemic year, I would say since Mox got the world title, they've been in a straight course, and they've had a direction. That's good because that made them competitive. I mean, I don't want to get into this demo shit right now. We'll talk about it another time. But
yeah,
at the end of the day, they do bring the fight sometimes. Now, I think they get a little more credit than they deserve, but that's not to take away the fact that at a few times throughout the course of the last year and a half, they have taken the fight to WWE, and you cannot deny that a company like that has 50-year history with the equity that WWE has compared to a company that's only been around for 2 years. I mean, that fight's a little too close to comfort, and that is a moral victory for Tony Khan, and that's right. Because he did redirect himself when he saw that he was going off course, and that's why props to him for that.
And that's going to talk about the pay-per-view tonight, because I thought tonight was a great example of some of the things that AEW does right and a few things they do wrong. But I think this show, while not as good as All Out, because All Out had all those surprises and it had much more energy, I thought this show really had a lot of quality matches and showed off a lot of the. Yeah, the matches were great, and it really showed the talent that they have and what they do different. Because it was one thing about this show we'll give them credit for is that every match was different and unique. And now some of the matches, we could obviously nitpick them if you want to and say this could have gone on longer, this could have gone on less long. But the show, we talked about this, you and I. All the great pay-per-views have like a buffet, so you had a little bit of everything on this show. And
all that it was missing was the midgets.
That's all. Well, they opened with the midgets. One of them is midgets. No Marco stunt on this show, but
or anywhere lately.
Thank God. Do you want to get to it, bro?
Yes. So let me go ahead and run through this really, really fast because I know you probably don't care to talk about them. I'm gonna talk about the buy-in show real quick because I like to be a.
There's only one match.
But they also run some angles. For example, Team Taz was out there, and their gimmick is that they're recruiting people, so they're scouting.
Yeah, and that started on a Rampage last night.
It was just a carny way to get him on the show and give him a payday, but it made sense because they have a role on the show, which is good. So one of the guys that one of the little undercard storylines that they're going after is that they want Dante Martin.
Yeah,
right?
And Leo Rush wants Dante Martin. They're kind of building him up like a Randy Savage in '86, where everybody wants to be his manager. Right.
So Dante Martin, who's a great athlete,
very talented,
a little dry on personality, got to work on their promos, but he's 20 years old. He'll get there. He's sought after. Now, one of the things that I like about this is that when you're sought after, when people want you, it automatically enhances your stature by default. So that's a good angle for him to be in at this stage in his career, and it could either lead for him to get turned heel, which might bring up his personality a little bit. Although he's kind of a small guy to be a heel, but nevertheless, if he turns on,
he was already kind of a heel when he was with Leo Rush, and then he's like in the middle. He's threading that razor's edge.
Yeah. So the opening angle of the show was he came on and he's a local guy, so he got a big pop. He's from Minneapolis,
right?
And the Acclaim came out, who are the rapper guys.
Love those guys; they're funny.
And they try to recruit him, and that was one angle, and we didn't really get a response. Then we had women's tag match with Jamie Hayter and Nyla Rose versus Hikaru Shida, aka Hickory Chicken, as I call her on our KLB page, and Thunder Rosa. This was just to get them there and get them some exposure because Nyla Rose, Shida, and Thunder Rosa are women that are at times pushed, at times they stand to the side and allow the woman that's being pushed to get the spotlight. In this case, it was Ty Conti. So that was a nice way to just kind of get them some work. This match was kind of a match that you would see on a WWE kickoff show. It wasn't bad, it wasn't good, it was just there. And Serena Deeb was also there because they're pushing the what is it called, the TBS title, which is going to be a secondary women's title.
Right.
So
and Hickory Chicken has been feuding with Serena Deeb in the past few months. It's like a lower level feud, but it's there.
Yes, and I like that again. And I might get some heat for this, but me and you have always agreed. One of the things about the Russo era is that he gave everybody roles. He gave everybody something to do.
Right. And Tony Khan can't do that because he has too many guys under contract and the roster, and there's not enough TV. But he's trying to do it with some people.
Well, yeah, because even like with the Dante Martin thing, with Team Taz, with even with the women, like as you see here, we're only in the kickoff show, and yet a lot of people are already involved in miniature angles, like mini angles for them, which is good because what does that do? That puts these characters in your peripheral. That puts them there to when they get the push to the next level, they don't come out of nowhere. Like you think about the WWE, and one of the things that they've done, and me and you have complained about this for years, how they kind of like fragment everyone, like everybody.
It's just constant rematches every week. Like SmackDown will have the same exact match 6 weeks in a row, and it's really getting boring.
Yeah, like they never mix and match. They never kind of like give us like those interesting angles. Because really, in WWE, you have Roman Reigns, you have the women, and then everybody else is like way at the bottom, and that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's not good because what you do is you hitch your wagons on two horses, and if those horses fall, then what do you got? You run into problems like that. So you have to keep people in the periphery at all times to kind of scoop them up whenever a situation like this happens. And this
something
is
that Senator Kresge did very well.
Oh, he did that great. I'm a huge mark for that era. Huge mark. And so that's one thing that Tony Khan does really well is that he keeps people around, other than Brian Cage, who was one of the first ones that talked shit to him, and he's kind of disappeared. So we had that. So Thunder Rosa and Hikaru Shida defeated Nyla Rose and Thunder and Jamie Hayter.
Jamie Hayter, yeah. And then we had Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends signing a match for Wednesday where it's going to be the Butcher and the Blade against Cassidy and Tomohiro Ishii, bro. I wasn't expecting that, but I'm popping. Man, I popped because I was like, wow, Tomohiro Ishii. I'm cool with that.
That little Pitbull is one of my favorite of all time.
He's great.
I saw him wrestle the Moose, brother, from Ring of Honor. Rest in peace.
Isn't the Moose the TNA champion right now? Different guy.
You know, it is. He is. He's the Impact champion. But
are you talking about Rest in Peace Ring of Honor? I thought you meant that Moose tied.
Okay. Oh no! Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Right. We did a Ring of Honor RIP show. It was our last show.
He's on Impact. Yeah, he's the Impact Heavyweight Champion of the world.
Yeah. So, he beat the guy who beat Christian.
Josh Alexander. Yes.
Yeah.
And so that was a great match. Ishii versus Moose, because I got to see New Japan about 2 months ago here at the Coliseum, where WrestleMania 7 was supposed to take place, bro. Where Dickie Rude was running on the beach, something that you've done lately on the treadmill, I hear.
Yeah.
So good for you. I'm very proud of you for that. And so yeah, I'm marking out for that already. Of course, the big build, I think, because Tony Khan's teasing on all these guys that have come from New Japan. I think eventually we're gonna have Okada come in, and then the place is really gonna explode.
Yeah, that's gonna make me explode. It's my favorite wrestler.
Now let me ask you something about Orange Cassidy because he's not the character that he was on the Indies, nor could he ever could be because that was gonna get played out.
It doesn't last very long. It's already played out. It's already played out for me, bro.
But the thing is that it's not even the same character anymore. It's just literally a guy now that he still has his hands in his pockets. But that Orange Cassidy that produced a lot of wacky wrestling on the indie scene that Jimmy Cornette hated, by the way, he's gone. But he was wacky, though. I like that character. But you're right. Like on TV,
it has a very bad shelf life. It's more of a traveling character.
It reminds me a lot of the old Al Snow head gimmick, brother, where it worked a lot in ECW and it got over to that cult audience. But once he was put at a national stage, it got over like crotch rot.
Right.
Anyway, so let's go to the main card now.
All right, so we opened the show, which I wasn't expecting this to be the opener. First of all, one thing AEW has to work on is they don't have opening graphics or opening video packages. I actually like WWE's.
Sahadi, bro.
Yeah, they do need David Sahadi. I really like WWE's opening video packages. Like, I really do. I don't care if you're an AEW fan.
The good kind of pressure. That's my favorite opener of all time, bro.
That's one of them, bro. But I have seen War and I hate War. That's one of my favorites with FDR. Yeah, but they just automatically go to Pyro, and it's like, I prefer them to have like an intro. But anyways, the thing about this show is they went from match to match to match to match to match. They had very little promos.
Very Wrestle Kingdom-ish. That's what it was.
It was very UFC-ish, too. Very little like backstage. There was virtually no vignettes.
Except for the wacky song, brother, before with the UFC graphic. Da, 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 what was it? That song, bro, before you saw the fight, and they would show the two guys.
Right,
and,
right.
Coming up next.
Coming up next. Yeah, but we didn't even get stuff like that. And actually, I was watching this show with a group of people, and two of them weren't really watching AEW frequently. They had watched it, but they weren't watching it frequently.
Huey, Louie, and Dewey, bro? Is that who you were watching it with?
Yes, I was, bro. And I was Scrooge. And so what happened was... they wanted to be caught up on the Page and Omega storyline. So I think that Tony Khan assumes that whoever orders the pay-per-view already is caught up, which I understand that logic, but it's also flawed because one thing WWE does do better than AEW is they always try to catch you up on what you missed. And that's important. That's very important. So you're always going to have a new fan. Tony Khan can't assume it's the same million people every week. And that's bad.
But they've also cut promos on Kevin Dunn for going overboard with that shit.
Yes, Kevin Dunn does go overboard, but I think for the important matches, the three main events, you have to have video packages to explain to the people why they matter. And we at least a promo from Adam Page recapping what happened, at least that. But it was all about the matches. They have to fix that, man, because you never know who might be a new fan coming into someone's living room or into a bar, and they want to get into AEW, but they have no idea why these guys don't like each other. It's important because wrestling's not built on wrestling matches. It's built on storylines and feuds that make the matches mean something.
100% agree with you. And me and you have always been proponents of the variety show aspect of wrestling. That's why...
If we weren't watching the TV, bro, we wouldn't have any idea what was going on. We wouldn't have a clue. Correct.
And also, you got to understand that Tony Khan comes from the Dave Meltzer school of thought where it's all about the 5-star matches. And I love them too, like you do. That's the business. But what made Vince McMahon a billionaire is that he saw through that. That's the important thing. He saw through that, and he's thinking about the little kids at home. He's thinking about the man that just came out of work and just wants to have a smile for 3 hours. You know what I'm saying? He's thinking about all these other things that don't require...
And sometimes people can't watch Dynamite every week. Sometimes you can't. So how are you going to know everything? If they're trying to grow this company and bring in new fans, you have to treat every show like it's a new fan watching.
Yes.
Like we're doing with this show right now. So...
Right.
MJF versus Darby Allin opened up the show. This feud had been going on since, mid-October, where MJF promised to punk out Darby Allin by psychologically breaking him. And he did everything from beating up Sting to talking about Darby Allin's uncle, and Darby Allin didn't break. And so this match, surprisingly enough, was like it was a pretty good little wrestling match. And I'll tell you what.
This is the kind of match that Randall K. Orton, one of our favorites on this show, by the way, for the first-time listeners. We love Randall K. Orton here on this show because Randall K. Orton, he ain't going to go out there and he ain't going to do no 450s. He ain't going to jump off the top rope. What he's going to do is he's going to build a great wrestling match.
Yes. And these two guys are in their 20s and they have this figured out, so I respect them for that. Not to mention... This show felt a lot like a WCW pay-per-view and a WWE pay-per-view from the 90s. This show, I was watching with a group of friends who used to watch wrestling back in the day, right? And the show felt like something from the 90s, which is a compliment. That's a compliment because...
Was my boy JD a part of that crew today?
No, he wasn't here tonight. He was with a Puerto Rican, bro, unfortunately for him. But, he's getting a piece of pussy, bro. He's getting a piece of pussy, bro. So that's his first piece of pussy in all year, bro, except for once. So that's good for him, bro. But she might be a cluster B, bro. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, sometimes we gotta tip the toe in the
No,
pool to find out the hot.
here's what popped me about it. So I asked him, I go, is she a BPD? He goes, we'll talk about that later. And you know that's a bad sign, bro, when somebody says that. You know he's thinking about it, bro. So that means that something had to have happened, but I'll figure that out with him later. So Darby Allin MJF, like I said, a lot of old WCW pay-per-views would open up with like Dean Malenko, Ultimo Dragon. That's what this was, except that this actually had a feud aspect. MJF, to me, besides Roman Reigns, is the best heel in the business. And Darby Allin, while he is a bit small and lanky, he's a great baby face, and he definitely knows how to put matches together, and they put together a great little match right here.
Awesome match, awesome. I was so impressed because Darby Allin, to his credit, he's adapting to the national stage, which is awesome. I love him for that because he's got such a bright future ahead of him. But he had to adapt his wrestling style. He couldn't go out there and kill himself every time out because he's gonna end up like in a wheelchair like Dynamite Quito did before 30. And here's the deal: there's a couple things that popped me in this match. First of all, I love how Darby comes up because Darby is a very artistic guy. So I love how he comes up with a new entrance video every time he wrestles in a big match.
Yeah, with the black and white thing. Yeah.
Yes, and he had this weird fucking like retro 1950s song going, like an oldies theme song, and then he came out in this beat up car that said "loser" on it, and it had a lot of little like subliminal shit going on that only he understands, I'm sure. But he's done that for every match he's been in different ways, which is awesome. That really separates him from the pack. And from what I understand, he produces his videos himself, so good for him. Another thing that popped me, bro, is that MJF did the Fargo strut, and then he called a guy a fat boy, bro. So that was a big tribute to Dickie Flair right there.
Yep.
He did it outside. And then
who I thought was coming in tonight.
Well, I don't think because of the Dark Side of the Ring episode, they kind of want to keep their distance for a little while.
but I thought that was 2 months ago. I thought by now they'd be okay with bringing him in. So I guess not.
We'll see. But
now I will say this: I did predict the finish. I knew he was gonna knock him out with the ring and use the side headlock takeover to win. I knew it, and that's perfect. It's perfect.
What sound psychology? Because again, the story of the match was that headlock, like how MJF kept on
and he teased it on Twitter.
Oh, I didn't know that. See, I'm not on live
so I don't know. He teased it on Twitter and he teased it on Dynamite too. He's gonna beat him with a side headlock takeover, and he did.
So the thing is, so that makes it even better because I didn't even know that.
And I love how they had a segment in the match where they teased Darby Allin was going to hit him with the skateboard. And so they're doing the Bray Wyatt Cena thing where they were going to have, they'll go to the dark side, and Darby Allin didn't do it, but it cost him the match, which you and I love these kind of angles, bro. They've done this in the past very successfully. Sometimes they fail. Now, when I say they, I mean wrestling. But this time I think it worked.
Yeah, and also one thing about Darby Allin, bro, is that he's a wrestler that has a lot of trademark spots. Now, believe it or not, folks, he would actually be a great WWE wrestler because this is the difference between WWE, the way they do their wrestling, and the way everybody else does it. In WWE, the fans go to the shows because they want to see the trademark spots. That's why everything seems so choreographed. Everything seems like every match is the same. If you see a Daniel Bryan match from WWE to now, it's a different match because in WWE he was gonna give you what he was known for. The
Did you hear when Jim Ross called him Daniel Bryan tonight, bro?
Well, I want to get to that because that was JR being JR. But so Darby Allin has a lot of recognizable spots, and as he would be a great house show performer because that's what people go to the house shows in WWE to see the trademark spots. That's one of their big things. You know, Roman Reigns with the Superman, with the spear. Everybody in WWE has their trademark spots, which is different than everywhere else. And Darby Allin has a lot of those, so he would definitely fit in WWE. This was I love the headlock spot. I love the counters with the Dickie Steamboat.
I loved that. Yeah, they really worked some good scientific wrestling to be in this match.
And I love the way that MJA was a good base for Darby's wacky spots and shit because he kept up with them the whole time. This was a fucking great match. They got a long time, about 20 minutes, and I was excited for the show. Keep on going.
Yes, great match. Lucha Bros defeated FTR to retain the AEW World Tag Team titles. I love this match too, bro.
I loved it a lot too.
And again, bro, how AEW gives you variety. You had this sort of mixed style where you had FTR being the base for all the wacky shit that Penta and Phoenix did. And these guys have a weird chemistry, because what I love about FTR is that FTR's whole gimmick is that they're Tully and Arn, no flips, just fists, but they can work with anybody.
They're also the Midnight Express, including taking their theme song, which is wacky.
Yes, a remix of it. But the thing about them is, like the Midnight Express, they can work with anybody. And that's what makes them a great tag team, is that they can have great matches with anybody on the roster at any time and make them look good. I mean, hell, 2 months ago they made Sting look better than he looked in years. Better than the Hunter match. And
so who's the one of them that's going to be in the control center in 10 years, bro? Well, we're coming back to Tampa, Florida, at the Armory. Catch us at 4:30 on Saturday night.
You know, my dad used to get Lex Luger and Stan Lane confused.
I don't blame him, bro. The same guy, weren't they?
Yeah, pretty much. And the one thing I like about FTR is they know how to work lucha, but they pretend like they hate it, but they know how to work it, and they're always very smooth. Like, what I like about FTR is that the Young Bucks style is very choreographed. FTR can do a similar style, but make it look like it's not choreographed, and that's what makes them a great team.
Yes, and I love how they were wearing the Mexican knee pad with the American knee pad, which that means they're going to get a lot of heat when they go to AAA, because they are going to go eventually to defend their titles there, and they're going to take. I hope if they got to study their Gringos Locos tapes if they want to get a lot of heat there.
Yes, they do.
Including doing the forward and the back.
The correct frog splash too.
And so, yes, Tully was out there.
And tonight was the anniversary of Eddie's death. So there was a ton of Eddie Guerrero references on the show too.
Yes, it was. Unfortunately, I still remember. Do you remember where you were at when you heard the news?
Yeah, I was at home. I went to PW Insider, and it was there, and I couldn't believe it. I remember.
Okay. I got.
And pretty soon we're going to get the Dominic storyline where he's going to say he's Eddie's son. That's being planned right now. I don't know if you know that.
I hope so, bro. Which is the truth, by the way, because we never got a real blow off there. No, this was another great match, brother. Everything about it was awesome. FTR doing all their wacky, like
Phoenix is amazing.
Oh,
amazing.
I mean, are you kidding me? He's so fluid, dude. Like, he did that. There's the one. I'm only gonna say one spot because there were so many, but one that stood out when he did that top rope, and then he jumps and he splits legs into the middle rope, which is itself fucking hard. And then he bounces right back to the top rope, and then he does a backflip, and he fucking takes you with him. That's an incredible fucking spot. I don't know if you could do that on the ropes in WWE. I'm sure you'll find a way.
Like, the only guy who could pull stuff like that off is like Dante Martin and Ricochet, bro. Like, only those kind of guys can do that.
And Ron Mysterio in his prime.
Yeah, in his prime. Yeah, maybe not now because he's missing an eyeball like I am, but in his prime.
He's teaming with the guy that took his eyeball, which is bullshit because that's what's wrong with WWE in a nutshell. We're supposed to not think about that.
Well, remember, both Survivor Series teams all hate each other. That's the storylines they're going with this year because the WWE's been lazy. This is the laziest build-up to Survivor Series in the history of that fucking pay-per-view. It's so... They announced the teams on Twitter, bro. It's so lame. So, good match. Very, very good match. But it did not feel like a blow-off. This is not over yet, bro.
No, because they're carrying their title. They're going to be at the AAA pay-per-view, and they're going to wrestle again. So it's not their blow-off.
Right.
And also, I do gotta cut a promo on those AAA Campeonatos de Parejas. Those are the ugliest belts in the history of professional wrestling. They look like they're made out of fucking cardboard, and they just have a little crown on says AAA. Very lazy, and I was
maybe it's because they are made out of cardboard, bro.
I wouldn't be surprised. Roldan better get on the ball on that one, brother.
Bro.
He can't hire Reggie Parks anymore because he passed away, unfortunately.
Bryan Danielson and Miro. I was looking forward to this match. Every time Bryan wrestles in AEW, I look forward to it because he has had in the past 2 months one of the best runs for match quality we've ever seen. He's worked with everybody, made everybody look good, had great matches with everyone. Everyone from Minoru Suzuki to Kenny Omega to everyone. And I was looking forward to this even more than the Moxley match because, for those who don't know, Moxley's supposed to wrestle Bryan here, but Moxley checked himself into rehab for his alcoholism. So Miro got put in there instead. I love this match because here's why I like this match. Right? Why I loved it.
Miro's wacky. Me and you have been marking out for Miro since he made his debut as Alexander Rusev back in the 04, brother. So,
in the Royal Rumble
2014.
In the Royal Rumble with bare feet, bro.
Yeah, and about 40 pounds heavier.
Right, and with long hair. So here's the thing about Rusev and Bryan Danielson, or Daniel Bryan as JR called him. So
3 times, bro, until he got yelled at on the headset. Now, here's what I pumped about JR because we know he's a cranky old man, once either I don't know if it was Tony Khan or Keith Mitchell, somebody told the motherfucker it's Bryan Danielson. We don't want Vinny to break that glass and Jerry S. McDevitt sending us a letter. And then from that point, bro, JR would say Danielson in a very cynical way. Danielson.
Yeah, you could tell he was being grouchy. You could tell he was being grouchy.
I love that.
Is he all right?
That's Bryan Danielson. Is that Daniels? Like over and over, bro.
Yeah. We can read between the lines watching wrestling. You know that between you and I, we have a combined 70 years watching wrestling, bro?
Eddie Bear, brother. Eddie Bear tried to warn us for years, bro.
Did you hear what I said about the 70 years thing?
Yes, 70 years, brother. It's a lot.
Yeah, Terry Funk age. So, let me tell you why I love this match. Because I love David versus Goliath storylines. We always pop for that. But what I loved about this match is Danielson took control of the match and he wouldn't give it back to Miro. Like, psychology was very interesting because Bryan was beating the fuck out of Miro and chopping him down, and Miro was the one making the comebacks and being the big monster. So it was almost, and the crowd was popping, it was almost as if, and they didn't do this, but it was almost like they were gonna kind of babyface Miro a little bit. You know, not too much, but a little bit. And so Bryan was just hitting him with these hard kicks, and Miro was just hitting him back with one, you know. But it wasn't like Miro was dominating. Instead, Bryan was dominating, and Miro was making the comeback, but it worked. For some reason, it worked here.
Now, one of the spots that I was going to pop out huge, there's a scene in Bloodsport where Frank Dux...
Bro, I was watching this with Yogurt, and we both called the Bloodsport. I swear to God, we called the blood sport spot.
Well, he called it because he's a big. He loves that action. I don't know if you. I mean, I don't want to disrespect because I know you've seen Bloodsport.
I saw it with JD like a month ago.
Oh shit! So okay.
And we saw Kickboxer, bro, which is not as good.
So in Bloodsport, there's a spot where Frank Dux is gonna go kick for kick with Paco, the Brazilian, a guy that I popped for in that movie, by the way.
Not Paco Alonso though, not him.
No, are you kidding me?
Different guy.
No, but that didn't happen though. They only teased it because. Daniel Bryan kicked him twice, and then I thought Miro was gonna go, come on, and then tapped his rib like Van Damme did in that spot, but he didn't. So Miro just kicked him again in the ribs, and then Daniel Bryan went down. So they teased that spot, they didn't really deliver it, but the fact that they put it in my brain, I'm still gonna give it a star for that.
So the finish was a little bit botched because Bryan he hit this sloppy spinning DDT from the top rope and then put in the guillotine with the elbows. Now it wasn't that bad, but it looked like Miro was more knocked out from the DDT than he was from the elbows. But Bryan wins, and now he's going to be facing off against Hangman Page in the future, maybe at Winter is Coming or at Battle of the Belts in January.
I thought they were going for that classic UFC finish, that old school one where the guy DDT'd himself into knocking himself out. What was that? You know UFC a lot from back then. Who was it?
I know that happened, but I forget what show it was, bro.
So a guy was trying to
They should have copied the Bronco Lubitsch spot from Pride, bro. The biggest heel in the business of MMA, bro.
We're gonna talk about UFC in a minute here.
Mark Kerr, bro, the specimen. Yeah, we are. So again, 3 great matches. Awesome. They were all different.
Because the Big Dave Meltzer interviewed Tony Khan before this show, and Big Dave said that this is probably going to be the first show where every match is going to get at least 4 stars. Take that for what it's worth, folks.
I don't think that happened, but a lot of them certainly deserved it.
And up to this point, I'm thinking it's going to happen. Up to this point.
Yeah, me too.
Because we had 3 fucking great matches. Now, another thing that I'm worried about at this point, brother, me being the
time.
Yes.
I was worried they were going to cut. I thought they were going to cut matches for time later, bro. You and I are thinking the same thing. Like, I'm like, wait a minute. Each segment was 30 minutes. We're an hour and a half into the show. Got 3 matches
there's 9 matches booked on this show, bro. I'm thinking, we get cut here. But nobody got cut. Because they were going match like New Japan.
Yeah, they were not doing any promos or any angles. So they had one angle. This
next match coming up. I'll go ahead and tease it right now. Is where the first chinks in the armor started to happen for this being a perfect show. Go ahead.
I'm going to disagree. I actually really like this match. Christian Cage, Luchasaurus, and Jungle Boy against Adam Cole and the Young Bucks. I like this match. Falls count anywhere. I like this match, bro. I mean, yeah, okay, I will say this. It was a bit wacky, as typical is.
Hit everybody with the gimmicks. I don't like that, bro.
Yeah, but I like the match because they went everywhere. The only problem is that you had other matches that were like this later on that weren't as good as this one. But I like this match a lot. I like the wacky, like, thumbtack knee pads. I liked the fact that they had lots of false finishes that made you think it was going to be a false finish and it wasn't. I liked the Panama Sunrise off the little whatever that thing is.
The Jungle Boy.
The Jungle Gym on Jungle Boy, yeah. And I liked the concerto. I love how early in the match, this is good psychology, Jungle Boy is too much of a pussy to hit the concerto, which I was booing. But by the end of the match,
He's fucking Anna J, bro, so he's not that much of a pussy. Let's put him over now.
Listen, bro, every beta can get at least one. Everybody gets one. But, and for all we know, she might be a cluster B, so he might not be a pussy, bro. Now, he's getting good pussy if it's anything like the one I got recently. But anyways, Jungle Boy at the end of the match.
Find a way to put yourself over after that entire soliloquy, bro.
Well, you know me, bro. Hooking up with a cluster B is a badge of honor for somebody like you and your cousin Eros, bro. Who, by the way, can you believe that the Eternals named one of their characters Eros, bro? That you gotta call Jerry. Your cousin's gotta call Jerry McDevitt about that, bro. The fuck is that about?
I'm gonna fast forward to that part every time I watch. And you know me, brother. I go through the entire MCU every time a new one comes out, so I have to watch that movie again, even though it's gonna be a chore.
It's gonna be a chore, bro. It's long. Let me just put it that way. So at the end of the night. At the end of the match, Jungle Boy volunteers to hit the concerto, and he does it and gets the pinfall. And I like the fact that even later on in the show, the Young Bucks sold it.
I wouldn't trust a 24-year-old kid with only like less than 500 matches to give me a concerto, bro. That's a little too. But they did it, and I hope he protected Nick.
That's one of Double G's boys, bro. So we have to give him props. I like this match. What did you not like?
Well, okay. I liked it too. At the second half of this match was incredible. I loved it. I loved it a lot, actually, because it reminded me, you know what it reminded me of? And unfortunately, because...
Also, I will say this, the thumbtacks in the mouth and the triple kick was a bit much, but go ahead.
Were they gimmicked or was that real?
No, that was gimmick, bro. You're not going to put no thumbtacks in his mouth. I wouldn't.
He should have gigged his mouth, bro.
That's almost as pussy as getting a lip ring, bro. Come on, get out of here.
I had one, brother.
I know, that's why I said it, bro. Go ahead. I'm burying you.
Folks, I reversed that. No. I'm just not a fan. Now, this is a personal nitpick, so I'm not discrediting the match. It's just not for me in the sense that I'm not into the ECW hitting each other with gimmicks because there's no psychology. You're just hearing loud noises. Right. Now, that's how the match started. Now, to their credit,
right.
Then they went back and they started building spots around gimmicks, and that's when it got good. But at the same token, is that this match, because of the environment that we're in right now here in 2021 with this war with WWE and AEW, this match is going to get a lot of love, and this is the exact same match that Adam Cole would build in his NXT run. We used to see this match a lot with Undisputed and whoever they were feuding with, bro.
And even with each other, even with the Kyle O'Reilly feud.
That's right. And so those matches, because it was in NXT, they got dogged on for being too long and being too gimmicky. This match is going to get all the love in the world. But it was the exact same match. Now, you had a lot of great athletes here, including Big Luchasaurus, who did like a fucking shooting star off of the fucking ramp all the way to the floor, which was awesome and wacky at the same time because that guy's a big dude. And you named all the classic spots. It was a great match, and the right team won. I did pop at the fact that the baby faces kept tradition, and they came ready to go into a come as you are.
Yep, with the jeans. Yep.
Yeah. And
Adam Cole wore wrestling tights, which pops me because he's a professional, and I actually like that about it. Fits with his character, bro.
Well, yeah, and they also wore pink just to be more obnoxious because they're heels.
Pink and black, like the Hitman.
You know, one of the things that I love about the Young Bucks is that they're trying to be heels, like legitimate heels, and be obnoxious. Just the way they tie their hair up, the facial hair, the piercings, the Jordans, and all that.
But they might not be heels anymore, bro.
Well, yeah, we'll get to that.
We're gonna get to that because that surprised me.
Yes, right now they're going. Let's just say that we might get a Randy, Liz, and Hogan style storyline coming out of this going forward.
Well, there's no Liz, bro. Now, unless you want to have Kota Ibushi be Liz, we could do that.
the Golden Lovers.
Somebody told me that Kenny Omega was fucking Riho or one of those Japanese chicks, and I'm like, wait a minute, I thought he was.
I think he's bi and Lingo's not a part of it.
Oh, okay. He swings for both.
I'm not saying that's official. I'm just saying
he plays for both teams. I got you.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that, folks.
It's not really my style, but I understand. So Cody Rhodes and Pac against Malachi Black and Andrade. Okay, so this feud's been building.
Bro.
El Idolo.
How come you don't call yourself El Idolo, bro? The Idol.
I will someday. Let me finish losing this weight, bro. El ídolo, bro. So, okay.
More, brother, you're gonna disappear pretty soon.
I'm trying to get jacked now. So this feud had been going on since Road Rager, which is where I think Malachi Black debuted, and so Andrade debuted right before that, right around the same time. But Malachi Black's been feuding with Cody, and then Andrade's been feuding with Pac, and they kind of combined the feuds. I like this match. It was more of a traditional tag team match, but you've got three guys here who made up a huge part of NXT when it was at its peak. You know, Neville, Aleister Black, and Andrade Cien Almas, and these guys. All I could think of when I'm watching this match, Draven, is when you and I did our draft a couple of years ago, and I picked like half these guys because I thought they were the future, and the fact that WWE let them go. Like, I was so angry because all these guys in this match, maybe not Cody so much, he was around beforehand, but Pac, Malachi Black, Andrade are NXT guys, bro, and they're sitting here having this pay-per-view match. I just thought it was wasted potential, and it kind of is irritating.
No, what was irritating to me was the pandering that Cody Rhodes was doing, including giving his belt to a little fellow, bro. Like, come on.
I saw that, bro. That Special Olympian.
Adam Bomb wasn't in the bag, brother. That's the only sad part about all this.
Unfortunately.
But here's the deal. Cody Rhodes is getting booed. And I brought it. If you guys want to listen to the reason why I think that was, listen to our previous show in the archives. I went through it. But here's the thing. He said he would never turn heel because he's in charge of the community outreach. But he's doing too many things.
Yeah.
He's doing the Kurt Angle gimmick where he's pandering, but is really there to turn him heel. Like
it's like he's gonna do it. He's gonna eventually do it.
Cause like he gave himself like the biggest pyro and ballyhoo of the night, bro.
Yeah, but that's what, like Triple H. That's what a heel would do.
And he comes out through the center. He gets risen through the center of the stage, and he gives himself all the special
effects. And he's always done that from the very first show.
He's got the ugliest neck tattoo in the history of neck tattoos.
And Brandy's also a heel, bro.
Yeah, and she has that subscription like you do of they call heels with the women.
I don't wear high heels.
Oh, you don't? I thought you did.
No, I don't wear high heels.
I thought I saw a couple of them in the.
Maybe Kota Ibushi, bro.
When I was in Kingston.
You saw a couple in my house, but they weren't mine. They were left there by the bitches, bro.
I saw him right next to the Dragon's Ball shirt that I gave you from Japan.
Ed Laredo's a big fan of the high heels, bro.
And Jerry the King Lawler, after that picture he posted today
of him in high school at the high school schools, he had to have known what he was doing. So I like this match, bro. I think they all worked pretty hard. And
say guy, bro, he's a jabroni that just came out with Andrade like a couple shows ago. I don't know who that is. He's like his new manager, I guess.
Yeah, I thought he was Joey Styles. He looks just like Joey Styles, bro.
Whatever happened to that guy? He just disappeared from the business.
No. Remember he made a joke about about Trump, and then he got kicked out of Evolve. You remember that a couple of years ago?
No, I don't at all.
He made some insensitive joke about Trump that caught fire on Twitter, of course, and then Evolve let him go.
No, too bad for him.
You know how it is, bro. I mean, he's still ECW Joey Styles, so he had to make that.
He out once in a plane to go into Iraq.
We respect him for that. So, what do you think about this match, bro? I love this match.
I thought it was all right. I'm not a big fan of Cody Rhodes, and
no, he was the weak link. He was the weak link here.
Honestly, Andrade has I'm sad to say because I'm a huge fan of the guy, but sometimes when he doesn't have his working boots on, he could kind of coast it through. I'm not saying he did that here, but certainly I know he could do better. And,
but he wrestles with those fucking white pants on, bro. That has to be uncomfortable.
I guess it is. I don't know. I've never wrestled with white pants before. I couldn't tell you.
Right.
So
I thought for sure we'd have Ric Flair debut here to help to cost Cody and Pac the match, but no, Cody and Pac won, bro.
Yeah, Pac did the Red Arrow. Is it still called the Red Arrow, bro?
I don't know what it's called, but I feel like I think Andrade and I think the wrong guys won this, bro. I think Andrade and Malachi Black should have won.
Is the Pac finisher, is that a Hayabusa move since everybody took their top rope finishers from him? No, that's
No. He does the Stardust Press, which is the shooting, the 450.
Yes. Okay. Anyways, I like this match. It was all right. It got 17 minutes, so.
So Dr. Britt Baker versus Tay Conti. So they had these like cool entrances, and also I got to give Tony Khan props. They had a new stage on this show, and it looked great. So thank God they did that because they needed a new set. But this match he
still takes a lot from Kevin Dunn though, including that video wall on the floor.
That's okay, because Kevin Dunn knows what he's doing, bro. I hate to say it, but he does. Not as much as Pride Fighting Championships did, but
No, nobody's ever gonna catch up to them. Are you kidding me?
he has copied them though a lot. So this was actually a pretty good match, although
Kong at WrestleMania, I'll tell you that right now.
no, it's not. Now this was a pretty good match, but I felt like it was probably the weakest match on the show, or at least one of them, because the crowd wasn't really into it, and I think maybe it was 5 minutes too long, in my opinion. But it was good for what it was. Like, they worked hard.
Yeah, I just didn't like that Rich Ward looking 1,000 years old, by the way, coming out with the guitar.
Is that who that was?
Yeah, bro, took the gimmick from Rick Boogs.
I was gonna say, bro. I thought that was the Tanahashi guitar guy from a few years ago, bro.
And Shinsuke Nakamura, brother.
Yeah.
By the way, as a side note, let me say this as a side note, real quick.
Mm-hmm.
That gimmick with Rick Boogs and
played out.
No. I think it's revitalized him, bro. Like, he's over now, because what I like about it is
I like Pat LaPrade dancing. That I do like.
You mean Pat McAfee, bro?
Wait, did I say Pat LaPrade?
The Alpha, by the way.
Oh my God, yeah, the guy who called out Double G. No, he called out Peter H. Remember? He buried Peter H. on our show. Pat LaPrade.
Yes, he did. No. But the deal here is that
GSB from Montreal, the best.
They found a way to,
Pat
because they
LaPrade.
already know that Lazy Muro's lazy. So how do we enhance Lazy Muro? Get a little money out of him, because we're paying him a lot of money. Let's go ahead and enhance what he's good at, which is that ring entrance.
Right.
So let's put him with this jacked up bodybuilder who's wacky in himself, and have him play out guitar right there. I love that shit, bro. And then with the WWE production values, oh my God, are you kidding me? Anyways, yes, this match was like you said, was probably the I don't want to say worst, because that's a bad term, was the least exciting match of the night. But one thing about Britt Baker is that she's not the best worker in the world, especially when you compare her to like the tippy top women in the WWE. But she always works hard, bro. Like, she works hard.
Yeah.
And that's something that I appreciate. And
When Ember Moon comes in, she's gonna really help out that women's roster.
Oh, you think she's on the way, huh? Okay.
Oh yeah. Her and Keith Lee, bro. Maybe they'll say they're brother and sister.
You're a dick, bro.
Well, that'd be cool. Or brother. I didn't say brother and brother. I said brother and sister. That's what you would have said.
You didn't, but you did, and we'll leave it at that.
So, you want to talk about Punk and Eddie Kingston, bro?
Yeah, I liked it. Eddie
Okay.
Kingston had fun on me, brother. And you know me, I don't respect these guys, bro. Not these.
Yeah,
Eddie...
I know you don't respect Puerto Ricans. I know that.
No, come on.
Well, he's a listener. He loves our show.
No, the Eddie Kingston type wrestlers, the garbage wrestlers.
Fat guys, you mean?
Yeah, the Nick Gages of the world.
Well, who has a bigger gut, though? You or Eddie Kingston at this point?
I think Jericho beats us both. How about that? Still.
Okay. All right. Well, who's in second place? Who's the silver
Brother,
medalist?
that gut saved Junior Dos Santos' life earlier, and we'll get to it.
We'll get to that. So, Punk. Okay. The
Punk,
promos.
I'm gonna quote Dave Meltzer here, brother. Punk got old. He looked old, and he got old. This is the night, brother. I'll tell you this right now. This is the night where CM Punk looked old to me.
Yeah. I was gonna say that. Okay, here's how I feel about this. First of all, the promos building up to this was great. I love the angle. I wish they had a few more weeks. They changed course last minute because it was supposed to be Punk and Wardlow. This is a much better.
Wacky, bro.
Yeah, this is a much better match because they had like the problem.
Form.
The problem with this though is that fans like, again, it goes back to the target audience. Fans like you and I, we know this backstory. Casual fans who just watch Punk and WWE have no idea what the hell Kingston's talking about. They don't know about Ring of Honor and the Indies 20 years ago. And so you have to explain this to the people. Excalibur's job should be to explain it to the people. And I don't think AEW does that well enough yet. You have little kids, like you said. You have people coming home who want to watch wrestling and they want to like AEW. They don't know what the hell's going on. I have mixed feelings on this match, bro. I thought this was a bit of a disappointment, honestly. I thought it was cool that Punk gigged. I thought it was cool the brawling, but I still felt like it was a little bit anticlimactic. Yes, Punk did look old, and he looked a bit sloppy. I'm just going to be honest. Like, I don't care if you people shit on me for this. Like, I didn't hate the match. I just felt like it could have... I expected it to be a lot better than it was. It was actually the one I was looking forward to the most on this card.
Here's the thing about Punk, bro, that I think a lot of people don't remember. Punk was never a great worker. Never.
Right. No, I never said that.
He's a
but the fight did feel the match did feel like a fight, so I'll give them that. And that's one thing I did.
The Fried Takayama spot that got over big time.
Yes, you know? No, and it was different than the other brawls, but at the same time, I still was expecting it to be a bit more climactic than it was.
And there was a spot where Kingston worked me, brother, because when they were outside, and Punk gave him that knee to the head, and Kingston, he was like knocked out legit, and I thought that was a great performance.
Yeah. Actually, at the very beginning, when the match started, he hit Punk with a cheap shot with the spinning back fist, and I swear to you, I thought for a minute they were gonna have him just pin Punk and that's it. Did you think that they were gonna do something like that?
I know, especially because I was looking at the clock and it would have made sense. Yes.
Yeah, no, me too. And I was like, they're gonna give us a shocking finish and have Punk go into like a depressive heel thing. Because I think Punk's going heel sooner than we think, bro.
I hope
Because
so.
Eddie was cheered way more than Punk on this show. One of the stories of this show is that Eddie was the babyface, bro, without question.
Well, here's the deal. You going back to the carny tactics when you're a wrestler, you're a businessman. You look at the landscape. If you see a heel world heavyweight champion, what do you want to be? You want to be a babyface because you could match him up and make money. When a babyface is the world champion, you want to maneuver yourself to being a heel because instead of being the top, at best you're going to be the second babyface underneath the world champ. Now, if you turn heel, you have a chance to be the number one heel and wrestle babyface.
Sure.
So as a carny businessman, you see Punk saying the lay of the land and saying, well, I got to turn heel because it makes sense because now I could wrestle Adam Page.
Do you think it's too soon for him to go heel?
It's too soon only in the sense that the marks, we're in that era where he's kind of seen as a legend, so it's going to be hard for him. He's always going to get that little cluster of cheers because people see him as a legend, so it's going to be hard. And that's another thing that a lot of people don't know about wrestling is
but also I just want to say that Punk has talent, so he can come out and bury the fans the right way. He could come out on Wednesday and just say, "I can't believe after I came back for you, you boo me within 2 months." Like, is that really how you guys are? Like, over a piece of trash like Eddie Kingston, he can get heat doing that. I think with that audience.
I think so too, and then the audience, the AEW audience, they tend to play along a little more, so maybe they'll just go with it.
Right.
But I think, to my point, when you're seen as a legend, it's very, very hard to turn heel. There comes a certain point for every wrestler that has tenure that's been a headliner to ever be a heel again.
Except Ricky Steamboat. Well, I thought you meant legend status. You're right, yeah, legend status, yeah.
Yeah, yes. So like that was the deal with Ric Flair for years. He always loved being a heel, but nobody wanted him to book him as a heel because everybody would cheer him anyway.
Right.
And John Cena could never be a heel anymore. The list goes on and on. Steve Austin could never be a heel, et cetera, et cetera. So that's where Punk ain't there yet. And like you said,
to that audience, he might be close though.
But he has the ability to turn himself. Although I don't know, we would have to see it. You're asking me if it's too early. I think it depends how much they capitalize on the heel he got tonight. Because I think the heat he got tonight was more because people just fell in love with Eddie Kingston. Because one thing about Eddie Kingston,
he got over and even losing, even though he didn't shake his hand.
But this is something you can't teach. This is something that's part of Eddie Kingston's personality. He just comes off as so relatable to a lot of the general audience. And so he's always going to be a babyface to them, especially because now that people know his story and his depression,
right,
his drug issues and all that.
It's sympathetic.
Yeah, and he humanized himself. So now it's going to be more difficult. But CM Punk,
he's the big star with the big paychecks, and Eddie Kingston already talked about that. He said, see, the thing is, they're already sowing the seeds here, and if they do this right, they could pull it off. They could pull it off because Eddie Kingston's already like trying to talk about exposing Punk as being fake, and the whole handshake thing, right? That could be if Tony Khan knows what he's doing, which he may or may not. The whole Punk wanting to shake Eddie's hand, Eddie not shaking it, on the surface may seem like Eddie's being petty, but it could be that Eddie sees through the bullshit. And that could end up being how they turn him heel, where we kind of find out that Punk came in just for the money and that he didn't really care, and that's why he's having... So they could reframe it to where Punk could go around telling people, oh, well, I came in and I'm helping out the young guys, when in reality, he's taking easy matches. See what I'm saying? And getting paychecks. They could very easily turn him heel like that, bro. And if Kenny Omega's going babyface, or if the Bucks are going babyface, why not shift gears a bit? I don't know. I feel like they could have done more with babyface Punk, but they could always do some more with him later.
I think, you know what, honestly, bro, I think they, and I don't know if this is Tony Khan's fault because nobody's perfect and he tried his best. I think Tony had so many people coming in that were over, like Daniel Bryan and them, that they just they lost their course with Punk, bro. I mean, I think
they did. And Punk wanted to keep wrestling the young guys, but he needed to wrestle a star. Eddie was the first guy he wrestled that was a star, except for Darby Allin.
Yeah, because Punk hasn't even wrestled any tippy top guys other than tonight.
What I'm hoping they do is I'm hoping they have a Punk MJF feud, and then Punk puts MJF over as his first loss, and then Punk goes heel, because then you can elevate MJF to that superstar status that he's pretty much there already. He's close to getting there already.
MJF needs to come out with that big bottle of tequila that Jerry Stupid Lawler came out and pour it in Punk's
yes,
mouth.
He does. Yes,
actually,
he
Jericho
does.
did that already in their feud back in 2012.
You do it again, bro. MJF knows how to do it, bro. So you like the match then?
I like it. So me and you have disagreed twice. You like the 6-man more than I did, and I like this match because here's the way I saw it, bro. When I'm watching this match, I'm thinking, look, these guys saw the lay of the land, both of these guys, and they got together and say, we can't compete with these guys at a wrestling level.
Right.
So let's do something.
Let's tell a story.
Yeah, and let's go out there and have a brawl and gig and make it more of a real fight than trying to have a wrestling match. Because look, we're surrounded by all this great young talent that are going to run circles around us. So with that mentality, I think they did about as good a job as they could. Now, the thing that I didn't like was that I don't know if this is the match that they decided they were going to cut for time or what, or maybe because
it was 15 minutes.
Okay, well, maybe because it was a fight. And as we know, if you see a real fight, you ain't going to go no 30 minutes. You can't. It's impossible.
Right.
So that's why they kept it short, because if it's a real fist fight, then it's got to go short. So in that sense, I like that too. So yeah, I did like this match.
They should have taped their fist before the match, bro.
They should have put it in glass like kickboxer, bro. Like Tang Pong.
You mean like they made a Taipei death match with the
Yes.
Rottens? Yeah, bad breed. So they showed Baron Von Raschke at ringside, and I said
rest in peace, both of them, I think, right? Both of Bad Breed are gone.
I think they are gone. Yeah, now they are. No, I don't think Ian Rotten's dead.
Oh, good, bro, good. Well, I don't want him to be.
Well, some people do.
Danny Lambert, bro. Let's talk about Danny
All right,
Lambert.
but Baron Von Raschke's at ringside, and I thought he was going to put the claw on Dan Lambert.
I thought he was no longer with us, by the people.
So did I, actually. So did I. He hasn't aged in 40 years, bro.
Except he's always looked 80. That's the problem.
That's the problem, but that works for his character. I thought he was going to put the claw on Dan Lambert, but he wanted to put it on him with Brian Cage.
No, bro. Brian Cage cut a promo on Tony Khan and he's vanished. You're talking about
Ethan Page, whatever, bro. Brother, what about the fact that we've got Big Shotty Lee, we've got Leo Rush, we've got Leo. What's the other guy's name?
I can't keep track of the jabronis, bro.
No. We got Leo Rush, Big Shotty Lee, Lee Moriarty, and soon we're gonna have Keith Lee, bro.
Yeah, but maybe they'll call him Sugar Bear or whatever.
And they all have something in common, bro. Anyways,
what did Vinny call him, bro?
Not Sugar Bear, bro. You're thinking of Sugar Bear Kamala Harris.
She should call them Sugar Bear.
Yeah, no. You're talking
Bearcat.
Bearcat, yeah, Bear Claw,
Right.
Bear Claw, because he's been eating a few of them. So okay, the Man of the Year, American Top Team, JD Junior Dos Santos, bro. Hold on, all right, let me get this. All right, so it's Sammy Guevara, Santana Ortiz, Hager, and Jericho, part of
You're gonna get off. You're getting rid of the ones that are not causing you to smile. Is what you're doing.
I'm trying to.
Putting those away early, and then you're gonna get to the other ones that you're gonna have a hard time getting to.
I'm having a hard time right now. Scorpio Sky, Ethan Page, Dan Lambert Jr., and Andre Arlovsky. Okay, so this match was a complete cluster muck. This match was a mess, but it was a mess that I found to be extraordinarily entertaining for a few reasons. Number one, it didn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense. It's supposed to be a Minneapolis street fight, but they're starting the match in the ring like a regular 10-man tag.
Which
all right.
pissed me off, by the way.
Yeah, that pisses me off too. Remember, we criticized Jericho and Punk for doing that in Mania 12, or not 12, Mania 28. And then finally it became a Minneapolis street fight. Then it got wacky. We got toasters, hockey sticks, and then we got Andre Arlovsky is so damn uncoordinated in that ring, bro.
He almost tripped coming into the ropes, which
he did.
For the record, I've done that myself, but I'm not an athlete, so I have an excuse. But this man is an athlete. He is a former UFC World Heavyweight Champion of the world.
And so is JDS. Now, JDS looked better here than he did in his last match on Rampage. But we got to put him over and bury him at the same time, bro. He is a terrible pro wrestler. But him and Dan Lambert are having the time of their lives out there. There is no question, bro, that these guys are marks for the business. And seeing them out there with grins ear to ear makes me smile, bro. And I enjoyed that about this match.
Even though they were exposing the business, yes.
Completely.
But here's the deal. I thought about you and me because here's the deal, folks.
If I was in there, I'd be smiling too. Remember when Jake Roberts
Exactly.
put the snake on freaking Dean Ambrose and he smiled, bro?
Yes, like I don't even think
Brother, I was smiling when I met Ricky and Robert. I actually told them to give me the double drop kick and they want to do it.
Well, we're
Did
gonna talk about that after we
did
finish
I
this.
tell you that part, bro? That I wanted them to give me a double drop kick and I didn't do it?
No, bro, but on the floor, it was a convention hall.
Yeah, I know. I don't care. I'll take it.
Yeah, but they're taking the biggest bump, bro, not you.
I don't care.
Um,
They're pro athletes and I'm not.
so here's the deal. Like, first of all, Dan Lambert came out exactly how he should have been
Yeah,
dressed.
we talked about it. Exactly like how Triple H dressed at WrestleMania 30 when he interfered in the main event.
So yeah, all he needed was that padding that Paul Heyman wore when he wrestled CM Punk and when they had their feud in 2014.
Right.
That's all he needed, bro. But another thing too was that
wasn't 2014. That was 2013. But yeah.
2013, sorry. And then Andrei Arlovski, like you said, totally uncoordinated. He didn't even wear his fangs, bro.
And he showed his guns too. He had to make sure he showed the guns off, bro.
And then no Paige Van Sant, unfortunately, or her husband. Remember that guy is a
And
jabroni.
whoever is it, bro, who cares?
I don't know if they got mad because they weren't featured. Well, I could see it was a business thing where like we're kind of jabroni, so we're not gonna show up. But
She's been awesome though lately.
well, here's the thing. Like it always tripped me out because WWE tried to get her for years, including they were gonna give her that big SummerSlam spot. I don't know if you remember, like 3 years ago, and she turned them down because she was gonna do a movie, I think, or some shit like that. So she didn't want to fuck up her face. And then she just randomly shows up in the build-up to this match, like with no hype. Now, I will say that she's not as big as she was even like 2 years ago, but still, she's still marketable. And I'm thinking they just kind of have her out there like a whatever. But even then, she stood out because she's got a lot of charisma and she's very stunning. So I was very surprised that they decided not to bring him for this match.
She's definitely made for wrestling. That's for sure.
Yes. Now, as far as the junior spot, you hit it right on the head. I find it very charming and a bit heartwarming because I think he's gone on record as saying that he is a fan.
And he's also got that little fella thing going on, bro. Where I thought he was Baron Von Raschke a couple times in this match, bro.
He was like Sagat, bro. He needed that big scar on his chest.
Right, the one that Ryu gave him.
Yes, and the thing about Junior Dos Santos, and I'm gonna introduce this because we probably have new listeners. Somebody please tell me, any other person in the world who's their Christian name is Junior, because that does not exist, and that's been fucking with me for years. That this guy's actually.
Hey, so you know if he went to WWE, Vinny would call him something else. So you know Vinny hates the name Junior.
You call him Dos Santos, bro.
Yeah, that's it. Dos would be his first name. Santos would be his second name, bro. So his name is Junior Two Saints.
From Brazil. He's Brazilian, right? Of course he is.
Something like that, yeah.
All the Brazilians are last name Santos, bro.
Yeah.
So he was.
Of course
awesome.
he is.
So Junior Dos Santos comes in, he starts doing spots.
And then he exposed the business when Jericho went for the lion salt and had to hold on to the top rope so that Junior could hit him with the punch, bro. I started cracking up laughing. This was not a good match, but it was fun to watch, like JBL would say.
What popped me was
Everything popped me, bro.
So he starts looking. So Jericho.
What about Jake Hager coming off the top rope with that splash, bro? And everybody getting set up. Everybody gets set up to catch him, bro. It's like he's gonna jump, and he jumps, bro.
Of course, it was first day out of wrestling school, like you texted me.
I did say that.
All they needed was for them to take the bumps.
I buried this.
They needed to take bumps and spread their shoulders way out there like a star and tuck
like they're doing the angel stars in the snow angels.
So no, my favorite spot of the match was when Jericho's prone, right? And then Junior starts looking the opposite of Jericho, and I'm thinking no, because me and you and anybody that's been watching wrestling for a long time knows that spot. He's gonna do a standing moonsault.
Yep.
So hey,
Yep.
And then he does it, but he
almost Lance Archered himself, bro.
But Jericho's his big ass gut softened the landing because his head landed right on the gut, and then he kind of got his composure and then went for the pin, and Jericho kicked out. That was my first spot of the match, and that was early too. But they were taking a lot of shots.
And he kept smiling the entire time, bro.
Time.
He just did not. It was like he was just in there. I like when the MMA guys just start flailing their limbs, bro, because they don't know what to do, bro. It always pops me.
Well, they also don't want to hurt the guy because they're trained to hurt.
Yes, if Junior does something with a real shot, he'll knock out Jericho quick, bro. Sammy Guevara will go splat with any of these guys, bro.
And that's the thing, brother. Like, remember, they had to not only train to be wrestlers, they also had to retrain themselves, like, to work their punches. So it's like it's a double whammy for these guys. And so that's why when Arlovsky comes in, remember Arlovsky started exchanging blows with Jericho, and he's throwing these pussy like slaps, bro.
Yep.
And Jericho's like,
Yep.
fuck. Like he's annoying Jericho. He would have told him, just connect, brother. Fuck it, because that's
Just
how
knock
Jericho.
me out, bro. Yeah.
But no, this match again, not the best. match.
Haku could have taken those shots, bro.
It was a cluster muck. It was not the best match in the world, but it had charm to it, brother. And it also had charm to it because Dan Lambert's out there working all the '80s Bobby Heenan spots when he would wear the weasel suit. And you know he's doing the whole. All he needed to do was a spot where he looks at the crowd and points at his head, bro. Unfortunately, we didn't get that, but we got everything else, including him coming in, tagging in, doing the stomps when the guy's down, and then running back and tagging out whenever the guy was making a comeback. That's a classic.
He knew what he was doing. He's been waiting his whole life to do something like this, bro.
Brother, this guy, for the people that don't know, he's got one of the greatest authentic. Let me repeat that for folks.
Yes.
Authentic wrestling belt collection in the world.
He's a legitimate fan. Legitimate.
That means that this guy actually went out there and got the real belts from people around the world to collect them for his own personal collection. And he's been trying to do this for years. And here's another.
He started this in Impact. If people remember, he started this whole thing in Impact.
Yeah, with Kobe Covington, bro, who just lost.
Yeah, who just lost. Yeah. And remember, he's got heat with Top Team now, bro.
Yeah, he cut a promo on them.
Yeah, he cut a promo on them. That's what I was hoping they would work this into the angle, bro, but they didn't.
Another interesting fact about Danny Lambert.
Remember, Kobe Covington called Kamaru Usman fake newsman, bro. That popped me.
Well, he's a good promo. He just came back.
He's a good heel promo, yeah.
Now we didn't see the Puerto Rican, bro. Did he bail on the angle? Masvidal. He just never showed up again.
I think he's fighting next month. He's probably in the middle of a camp. That's my guess.
Because he was the one that was the heavily.
And he's not Puerto Rican. He's Cuban. Oh, you're right. He's Puerto Rican now. He's not my people anymore. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Why he decided to change nationality? What do you mean? It's not up to him, bro.
It's up to me because remember when he lost that fight to Usman for fucking around, we disowned him. Remember I told you that?
He's probably gonna
remember he hit the fucking V trigger on Ben Asshole, bro. Remember that V trigger he hit on him, bro?
On Jericho.
Yeah.
I guess we're never gonna get a payoff to.
That sucks. I hope the feud continues, but it probably won't. I think they're done here.
Yes, but no, I loved everything. Let's make it clear before we move on. This match was not good. This match was a cluster muck. Everything that you're supposed to do, you don't do in this. You don't tag in a fucking hardcore match. But it had
it was wacky.
Junior Dos Santos saved it for us because we love the guy. Maybe when Cain Velasquez knocked him out, he just stood like that, bro. Like,
we're gonna get a Velasquez Junior Dos Santos wrestling match next, bro.
No, brother, I don't think Velasquez is gonna fall for that con job again, bro.
Hey, he got paid.
Brock got his win back though.
Yeah, he did.
Very corny.
Very corny. Like it matters, bro. So we then had a segment where they debuted Jay Lethal because now that Ring of Honor's dead, everyone's open. And I thought for sure we'd see the Briscoes on this show, but Jay Lethal comes out and he's challenging Sammy Guevara for the TNT title. So there you go. I'm happy Lethal's there, bro.
Oh, he deserves it. He paid his dues. He's been a guy that he's still good at what he does.
He's entertained us for years. What he's done, bro.
Yes.
And he also tapped CM Punk's wife before he did.
Many years before.
Now they're in the same company, bro.
And also, Jake Hager's wife was there, the former porn star, whatever.
Yeah, in the front row, bro.
Yes,
and Ethan Page or whatever, Brian Cage, whatever his name is, bro. Dallas Page.
Not Kimberly Page, unfortunately.
No. So now speaking of Page, Adam Page and Kenny Omega. So Meltzer probably gave this match like an 8-star match. It was a good match. I didn't think it was anywhere close to the matches Omega had in Japan. It just wasn't, but it was a good match.
That's the pink elephant in the room. How is history going to treat this match, considering how the people in charge of the history, which is the Dave Meltzers of the world, are going to treat this match? Because
he's not in charge as much as you think he is anymore, bro.
Well, I'll tell you this. I really like this match a lot. I don't want to underplay that.
No, I liked it too.
But it wasn't... this is not one of their historic matches. All right. And so
it was a historic moment for Adam Page to finally be champion after 3 years since the freaking the AEW press conference, and it was a great angle at the end with the Young Bucks, and there were some really great moments in the match. But I agree in that it wasn't up to the level of some of the other main events.
And it's also great booking because Adam Page is young. He's 29 years old. He's a good worker. Everything that you want a champion to be right now, a guy that you could invest, 5-10 years in, perfect. But hopefully, my thought was maybe this is just part of a trilogy or something because they always got to do that, going all the way to like Rock Austin and.
I think they should, but they should have one more match, in my opinion, at Revolution or whatever.
The thing is that Khan doesn't like rematches, bro. He does. He has
which is a mistake because in wrestling history, rematches make the most money.
And not in boxing too. But the thing is,
and MMA.
But the things Khan is he's gone on record saying he likes to do that one and done thing. And if you see through the history of the short history, he never really does rematches, especially main event rematches.
Right, I know that, and I don't like that because it doesn't make sense that Jericho never got a rematch when he lost to Moxley. I don't like that. I've never liked that philosophy at all, bro.
There has to
there has to be a middle ground, yeah, because WWE does 1,000 rematches, AEW does like 2. There has to be a middle ground where you at least give somebody one last shot.
Yes, but thankfully they're gonna do it right with Brock Lesnar after he lost because I was mad if they weren't. But I talked about that in the previous show.
Right.
Anyway.
So the match, there were some great spots. It was funny because we talked about whether or not Page would kick out of the One-Winged Angel, and it was actually backwards. He put Omega in the One-Winged Angel, and he kicked out, which was kind of interesting.
Yes, and that's the thing that everybody thought we were gonna get the bug-eyed Kenny Omega Undertaker.
That's what I wanted, bro.
But the thing is, that's why I think they're saving it. They're gonna do that later because the One-Winged Angel is extremely protected. Like I think you told us in the last show that I think Okada was the last guy to kick out. But I don't think you remember. I don't remember, but I think it maybe not. But that's besides the point. Point is that even if we take it from there, that move has been very, very, very protected. That's the move that sent Nakamura to the WWE. That's the move that it's a classic move. He's beat a lot of people with that move, a lot of legends. So the fact that we didn't get Pace to kick out of it in this match, I think we're gonna save it for the rematch.
I think now at this point somebody else should kick out of it. Like a guy an up-and-comer. You know what I mean?
Sure, I agree with you. I mean,
because you've already got Page 1. Yeah, you already won.
The point is that you have that in your back pocket. That's going to be a big moment when it happens and if they play up on it.
So, Don Callis was awesome here. He was the heel manager, fucking the matchup. What were you going to say?
He always is. Ever since he was with Jackal, the guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And he had the wacky shoes, the wacky dress, so that, he's a heel. But I didn't like the ref spot because...
I called it.
Then you start wondering, is that a DQ? Blah 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 blah, and that's kind of a fuck finish in a lot of ways. But again, AEW gets so much leeway with this shit. Nobody ever talks about it. But had it been New York, everybody would be like, "Wait, that would have been a DQ. Why do they do that stuff?" And it's bullshit. Both companies do it all the time. They did the referee running down the aisle spot. Get whatever. That's cool, but call it spade of spades. If it's to protect the heel, then that's what it is, and it's bullshit. It's a bullshit spot. It's a spot to where you're caught up. You book yourself into a corner. You can't get out of it, so let's just knock out the referee to protect the finish because that was they had the finish right after, and then Page kicked out. So it was like it's bullshit. But I'm okay with it. Let's call it spade of spades when both companies do it.
Yeah, like I said, this was a great main event, and it was a great moment for Adam Page. Let's talk about the unique and strange finish. So. The Matt and Nick Jackson come out. Now, the night before on Rampage, Adam Page told the Young Bucks, he said, listen, if you guys get involved in that match or put your hands on me, I'm going to make your life hell. He basically told them, don't screw me out of the title. So they come out and they kind of surround the ring. And at one point, he hits the front flip clothesline on the back of Omega and then from the front. And each Buck is on each side of the ring. And before he hits the last one, he looks up at the Buckshot Lariat. He looks like Matt Jackson looks up and nods at him, bro. Like, go ahead.
And Matty Jackson has the Shawn Michael Hickenbottom puppy dog face that we pop for.
Yeah, which was interesting because so basically instead of interfering, they were kind of giving Hangman the okay to finish off Kenny Omega, and he did that, and he won the title. So now the story is. What is going on with the Young Bucks? I'm actually very intrigued now, bro, because I don't know if they're going to turn Kenny babyface here or if the Bucks are going to be the ones going baby because it looks like they were accepting of Adam Page dethroning their boy. The same guy who they had beef with all year.
going back to my beef throughout this entire show about how WWE gets treated, differently. I got a devil's advocate for you. Do you think that this is a little too close to the Paul Heyman Brock Lesnar angle?
No, because I think this will actually have a be explained on Wednesday, or at least close to it.
But the whole like whose side are they really on? You don't think they're gonna stretch that out?
They might, but it wasn't like they actually interfered by throwing a belt in or a chair. They just gave him a nod. So it's like
but it was like Kenny Omega would have been like, well, why don't you guys have my back?
exactly. Well, exactly, and that's where I think they're gonna go with it. It's just I'm wondering where it's actually gonna end up. I feel like you're right. They're gonna have another Kenny Omega versus Hangman Page match, and this
Let's
could
do
be
it
a
on
way.
TV because Tony Khan likes to do the big TV matches.
Yeah, maybe at Winter is Coming or at the Battle of the Belts. But I remember Bryan's next. But they could do an angle where Kenny Omega fucks Bryan out of the match, and then they do that match. I mean, there's a lot of things they could do. It's just I am intrigued with that finish, bro, because it looks like they're almost teasing that the Elite's gonna get back together. But you've also got Adam Cole, and there's a lot of chess pieces here that could lead to a very interesting storyline.
Which is good. That's what you want.
That is good. No, it's great. I'm intrigued, but I'm worried because AEW, Tony Khan is a good booker, but he's not a great booker. We've talked about this. He's made a lot of mistakes, and granted, he's still young, but like, I feel like this could end up being bad if they do it wrong. But he made the right choice tonight by having him win. Having Adam Page lose would have been disastrous for the company.
Yes. So, of course, definitely. I like the finish. I like where it's leading because you gave us the blow off for this phase of the angle. You gave us the big champion, the coronation, but you also left us something for the future. So all these things played out wonderful because you need stuff like that.
And then the Dark Order came in with the feel-good moment to lift up Adam Page. The only thing I didn't agree with, bro, is they should have had more pyro and shit for him winning. You know when you have a big babyface, when you have the pyro.
That's Kevin Dunn, brother. They don't have Kevin Dunn under contract.
They don't need Kevin. They already copied everything else. You might as well do. Even Ring of Honor had the pyro.
Yeah, but they have the pop gun pyro, bro, which is another thing that bothers me. They don't have the cool concussion pyro that WWE does.
Well, then get the concussion pyro for Adam Page's win, bro.
I don't know why they don't. Maybe you need like technicians and shit for that kind of stuff, brother. Because
as long as it's not gonna bet the exploding ring from last year or for earlier this year, we're good, bro.
Because the thing about pyro, what differentiates the pop gun pyro that TNA used to do and AEW does now, and the pyro that WWE does, WWE is like essentially setting up bombs in an arena, bro.
Yes.
So the thing is that you need a professional fucking crew to help you not set the entire arena on fire. So maybe they're like super expensive, and Tony Khan's like, fuck it, I don't want to do that. Because if you notice, even WWE doesn't do that anymore. They don't have the opening. They only have the opening pyros on pay-per-views now. That's just expensive, dude. But knowing Vince McMahon, he ain't about to go to that fucking in your house pop gun pyro that AEW does.
No, he's not. But I think they should have done a little bit more ballyhoo for Adam Page's win. But I thought it was cool.
Maybe they'll do it on Wednesday.
Yeah, maybe. But I feel like it should have happened tonight. Either way, though, it was a big win for him. And now here's the question before we close out the show. Danielson's next. They're going to have the match on TV. They're not going to have it at the pay-per-view. It'll probably be at Winter is Coming or at Battle of the Belts.
Yeah, because the next pay-per-view is in February. That's ways away.
Right. So does Bryan win or does Adam Page? That's actually a good match because either Bryan will get his first loss ever, or it'll be a 60-minute draw, or Adam Page will lose the title.
No, you don't want the lead babyface to have a short reign anymore. That's bad for business. That's almost
then you're saying Bryan will get beat by Adam Page?
Yes, I do, and that's his job because Bryan is 41 years old and Adam Page is 29 years old. You can't.
No, that's fine. I'm just asking.
You can't live up. Dude, Bryan's entire job is what he's doing now. Get over, as over as he is, respected. But when the time comes, and the time is now, put over the young guy. That's the important.
And they gotta build that match up for a couple weeks, I think, bro. They can't just do it on. They have to announce that match ahead of time.
Well, they did kind of announce Daniel Bryan and Omega like a week before, bro. So they've done that.
But I know, but I'm saying this time they gotta really be a bit more careful with that.
Well, in essence, they kind of already announced it because we already know because we have the number one contender set up and we have the champion set up. So without them telling us, we already know that's coming.
I mean the date, the actual date.
Yeah, hopefully they do that on Wednesday. And like you said, we're looking at Battle of the Belts, or we're looking at Winter is Coming, or we're looking at I I know they ain't gonna stretch out to February. But
No,
but yeah,
I think February we're probably gonna get the Omega Adam Page rematch. That's my guess. I mean, I could be wrong. Do we know what venue that show's gonna be at?
no, I don't think so.
Okay.
Although they should, maybe we don't know it, but I'm sure it's already out there. I will be in Vegas for Double or Nothing, which is one of their big shows.
In
and
May.
Who knows what they have stored for that? You know, that's a big deal right there. Because they usually that one and the September one are like the WrestleMania and SummerSlam.
Right. Well, we'll see what happens, bro. But we're gonna go ahead and close out the review.
Well, wait a
Overall,
minute, before we close
this
out,
was a good show. Not as good as
like
All Out, but it probably had better matches overall, better match quality than All Out, I would say.
yes, no, I did, and I want to hopefully when I have time, I want to watch this show revisited again because it's one of those shows that I was watching, I was really enjoying. I was like, man, I want to see this show again.
Right.
But it's 4 hours is a big sacrifice.
Yeah, all their pay-per-views are 4 hours. But they only have 4 a year, so it's okay.
Right. But before we get out of here, you did get to go to a convention where you met a lot of the old coggers, which we always mark out for and respect. So tell us a little bit about some of the people that you got to meet. You talked about the Rock and Roll Express, which in itself is already top notch.
It's on my Instagram. I got to meet David Penzer, Bugsy McGraw. I got to meet Denny Brown. I got to meet and speak to Jerry Jarrett. Ricky and Robert, the Rock and Roll Express, Barry Horowitz, Fidel Sierra, aka the Saint, aka Top Gun, and the Grappler, Len Denton, bro, one of Carl Stern's favorites.
So what did Dickie Morton tell you?
About what? He told me a lot of things, bro. I told him about the KLB, how he headlined the Hall of Fame class, even though he really didn't. It was Vampiro, so I worked him. And then he told me in my face that he's the best babyface of all time. And I believe him. I believe that.
Was he shooting his gums?
And then the best part is I asked him to do a video because I wanted him to do a video for us, like a promo, and he goes, look, man, I got an agent that handles that, but you know what? I respect you, kid, because you actually had the balls to ask me. See, I tell these young guys in our business. First of all, he said our business right in front of me, bro, so I had a smile from ear to ear.
All he was missing was not my business, not your business, our business.
He did say that. He said our business. Guys want to get signed, but no, call WWE. Call them every day if you have to get signed. And he's right. Just keep calling them. They'll eventually call you back.
Now,
which they probably won't, but whatever. Unless you're 6 foot tall and a football player.
or Dick Steiner's kid.
No, and then well, the best part is they conned me out of buying a shirt, and I go, do you have change? He goes, of course we got change, Bubba.
Now, of course, as per usual, Bobby Gibson was looking in every direction while looking straight at you.
I couldn't look him in the face, bro. I can relate to him at this point in my life, but still.
Shawn Michael Hickenbottom, bro. When I met him, I had the same problem.
Yeah.
Now, did Bugsy McGraw tell you that they took the Bray Wyatt character from him?
No, Bugsy McGraw is not doing so well, bro. He's how can I put this delicately? You remember you told me that story about Nick Bockwinkel?
Yes, I'll never forget it. Ever in my life.
He's in that stage of his life, bro, to the point where he had to have a handler with him. I talked to him, he didn't even hear anything I said, so he's his brain is rotting, bro.
What about did you remind Dave Penzer that he was jacking off?
No, I did not. But I did talk to Jerry Jarrett about Memphis, and I told him I wish I could have gone to the Mid-South Coliseum, but I was too young.
And what did he say?
He said I would have been great. And that's it, bro.
What a worker, bro. I love these guys.
And I told Barry Horowitz that when he beat Skip on Superstars, I popped when I was 11 years old. He goes, that's good to hear. Because he wrestled in Florida, bro, a long time ago.
Yeah. So the convention was paying tribute to the Florida guys, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because Barry Horowitz worked here before way before his day. Jack Hart and Bret Hart with 2 T's.
Or like the Marks, the little kid Marks would spell it back in the 80s, bro.
He was trained by Boris Malenko, bro.
Like whenever they would spell Ric Flair with a K, that would piss me off as a little.
It still pisses me off, bro.
So that was it. Any other stuff? I
got to have lunch with Count Grog, bro. the owner of Southern Championship Wrestling, who helped train Shane Dawson, and he told me Haku stories, bro, which I'll tell you off the air at some point, or maybe in the next show we'll tell you. So make sure you subscribe if you're watching this on World of Geekdom down below in the description.
Well, thank you for having me, and I always love doing these shows, bro.
Yeah, we'll do more in the future, and like I said, check out the KLB because we'll come back and talk more about this convention on there. So for Draven, this is D. We'll see you when you see you. Peace out. Double G ending, bro.
Wait, no, a millionaire Double G, because he's in Wall
That's
Street.
right. He's a millionaire now, bro. Even though he won't come out and say he's a millionaire.
Next door, so props to him. I did send him.
He struck it big, bro.
Bro, did you know that Tony Khan congratulated him on the air with Dave, bro? So we're gonna hear about that for years.
Oh, we are, bro. And remember, he knew about Moxley before we did.
So now Tony Khan and Double G have the same amount in their bank account, the same amount of money.
I don't know about the same amount, bro. I think Tony Khan might have him beat by a couple mil. I'm just saying. Well, maybe Double G can help. What's his name? What's that jabroni Booker name, bro? What's his name again? La Rocca. He can help La Rocca get some TV for Premiere Pro, bro.
Well, that's been down and out for years. So, but
I see what you're saying.
Well, what do I know? Anyways, we'll talk to y'all soon.
Catch you down the road.
One.